to my YouTube channel. It's your own girl, Bukola. Bukola. If you're new here, you're welcome. And to my old subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. You know how we do it here. I always give you as it is, so real, without any issue. Thank you guys for turning up. If you are yet to subscribe, please do so. Today I'm bringing in a male dependent that already got a sponsorship job while the wife is still studying. So I know you want that gist. Yeah. So I'm bringing in today. Today is an IT person, is a front end professional, and is here in Bolton. He's here with his wife in Bolton. He already got a sponsorship job while the wife is still studying, and he was working remotely presently as an IT person. So all of you that are scared that, okay, I'm going to be a dependent, how will I do it? How will I get a job in my field? So today is a perfect example for you. Sit tight and watch. Hi.
Hello.
Nice having you here today.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Yeah. So as I've said earlier, today is a dependent and is presently in the UK with his family, his wife and a kid. They came in together with us. We came in around the same time in September. I know so many people have asked me that question. How can dependent get better jobs that are not care jobs, that are not this, but they are professionals in their field? So that is why I brought today to the channel today to help us. So right. Tunde, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Tunde Adegbite, and yes, like she rightly mentioned, I'm a dependent. My wife is here to do a master's, so I am here with my wife and daughter, and I work in the IT sector. I'm a software engineer. That's what I've been doing. That was what I was doing in Nigeria before we moved. And yeah, that's it basically in a nutshell.
Okay. So when you got here, how was it like looking for a job as an IT person? Were you thinking about, okay, in case I didn't get, will I do something else? Or were you doing something else before coming in? Or what was the stage like getting a job to coming in and getting a job?
Yes, so for me, it was a little bit different because I just had this confidence that, IT jobs are more lucrative, yeah, and I wasn't wrong, actually. So I before I came, I was already working remotely, in Nigeria. So I didn't necessarily have to leave my job to come to the UK. So I was already working. So I work with a company in Nigeria called Handela. I've been working with them for about 3 years. So I work with companies outside Nigeria, like companies in the US and in Spain. But the funny thing was, prior to when we're coming, I think like 2 months before we entered the UK, I actually lost the partner I was working with. So I was practically without a job, but by the time I was in the middle of different interviews, still in Andela. So when I got here, I think the second day we got to the UK, I did my final interview and I got the job, but with the company I was working with, in Nigeria. I work remotely for a company in Spain, but I'm actually part of Andela. So Andela is just like a middleman. So I didn't necessarily have to leave one job, so I came in practically like I had a job.
Yeah, like the lucky one.
Yeah, but I knew there was a need for me to actually get a job here, so I was trying, I was doing interviews by the side, while I was actually still working, with a company that I just started with. Because when I started with the company, I got into the UK, but I knew like, man, this company is not in the UK. Which means that, there are a bit of restrictions. And because, we had plans of staying longer, so I needed to start thinking about things like sponsorship, a job that will sponsor, things like, getting a job here in the UK and start paying your taxes here in the UK. So all those things,
especially that sponsorship. That sponsorship is the major one.
Yes. So I started the job October when we moved in. But I initially I felt like, what, let me just wait. Let me spend, at least like 3 months with this new company before I start looking for another job, because I just had that confidence that, you know, getting a sponsoring job is going to be, you know, very easy. It means that, you know,
Because you're in IT field,
yes,
because of your skills
because I was
and
in
your
IT.
experience.
Yeah, because I have like, you know, 7+ experience. You know,
Hey,
I've
wait,
worked.
wait, 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 wait. That's the major cocoa,
Yeah.
because there are some people that they don't really have the experience, they are just starting and they like. But for you, you have the edge. Should I say you
Yes.
have the edge already? And you are sure
Well,
that
sort of.
IT is money. I know this is an encouragement to those people that are in the IT field or in any big profession, that they have the experience, they have the everything it takes, and they are planning, okay, when we come, hope I will get a job. So
Mhm.
this is the right person to talk to you guys. That's why I brought it. Sorry for cutting you short.
No,
Keep
it's fine.
talking.
It's fine. You know, like you said, so I had that confidence, but it doesn't necessarily mean that things came in, you know, easy like I thought it
Rosy.
would, you know. But I just felt like, you know, IT job is, you know, is hot cake everywhere in the world. And so, you know, for those that understand, you know, the IT job, I'm a front end engineer. So I do front end development, you know, I work with quite different technologies. But and I think another thing that gave me confidence was because, you know, prior to coming to the UK, I've worked with, you know, companies outside Nigeria already for about, you know, 2 years plus. You know, so I worked with like 3 different companies in the US. You know, before when I moved into the UK, I got another company I was working with, which was in Spain, because I wanted that company, you know, in Spain, because I felt like, you know, the European experience. So I felt like, you know, with all these things on my CV, you know, it's going to be so easy and all. So initially I was feeling like, no, I don't want to rush it, because I thought by
Okay,
the time I start looking for a job, 1 month, everything is set. I've
you will
gotten my
get it.
sponsorship, everything is done. So I was feeling like, you know what, I'll just chill, you know, spend 3 months with this company I am in, and maybe the following year, which is this year, I'll start looking for jobs. Someone actually advised me to, you know, start early. That it's better to have um an offer in your hands and say, oh, I'm not
Yeah,
ready, than saying, you
yeah,
know what, when I'm ready, I'll start looking for it.
yeah, that's true.
So that's why. So I started, you know, I think about I started in December, around ending, yeah, around December. That's when I started, and I started applying for different jobs. And to be honest, you know, it was the calls were overwhelming. If you come to the UK, you will understand what I mean. By the time you put your CV out there, there's going to be a lot of people calling. The number of people that are interested, you know, that are calling you doesn't necessarily mean they are actually good prospects, to be honest. Now, most of them are just agents that are just looking for.
Okay, sorry, please.
All
Where
right.
which site did you put your CV? Is there a site that you particularly targeted?
Yeah, I didn't have any site in mind actually. I just started doing, okay, I'm looking software development jobs, front end development jobs, and I see different sites that advertise, and I just sign in and just put my
Okay,
CV.
you type that on Google and just
Yeah.
keep.
So anywhere I'm
Okay,
seeing it, I just sign in and just put
okay,
my CV.
okay,
But
okay.
those sites were not really as effective for me. I'll get to that part actually. The only thing those sites gave me was it was a lot of people calling in. And
Oh,
when I initially started looking for this job, because I had a job, you understand. So I
okay,
felt like there was no rush. Like I just wanted a
okay.
sponsorship job. So I felt like if I don't get a sponsorship job, there's no point leaving the one that I have. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
make any sense. So I anybody that was calling me, I was just telling them, like I was saying, that a lot of people will call you when you put your CV out there. You know, it now depends on what you want. You know, a lot of people are
Okay.
going to call you. So
But
what?
I think the reason why they were calling you was because you were really an hot cake.
Well,
Did you
I
put it like that?
maybe, but I feel like it's not just me. I feel like, you know, because I've heard from a lot of people that are doing other jobs too. You know, by the time you put your CV out there, those calls doesn't necessarily mean they are job offers. Those calls are just, you know, oh, we saw your CV,
Oh,
you are
okay,
looking for
okay,
this role, you know, want to just know what you are interested in, you know, those kind of things.
okay.
Those are just agents just calling and calling.
Oh,
But I
okay,
felt like
okay.
because I'm also in IT, so because there's actually there's high demand for IT jobs. So I guess that might also increase the call. But and another thing that before I forget that is also very important is updating your LinkedIn. And immediately you
Yeah.
come, because over here, they are, especially if you're a professional, they are very keen on your LinkedIn. So you have to update your LinkedIn and change your location. You know, you need to change your location, update your phone number, you know, on your
Mm.
LinkedIn. because I received a lot of people reached out to me through LinkedIn. So a lot of people got my contact through LinkedIn. In fact, the job I eventually got, the person got my contact through my email through LinkedIn and sent me an email directly. I'll get to that point, but you need to update this. And another thing is you need to update your CV as well. You can just
the UK standard.
Yes, so it doesn't necessarily have to be. For me, for example, I don't necessarily know what is UK standard, what is not UK standard. I just felt like, okay, what is the proper? That's like the standard, the standard. Okay. And the key thing to note is just there's not a lot of in my CV, for example. There's not a lot of story. It's just my name, my LinkedIn link, my GitHub. They want to see your GitHub, the work you've worked on, my GitHub, my phone number. And straight to all the places I've worked and what I did, because it's not good enough to just say, okay, I worked here. You need to have like at least 2 or 3 bullet points of, okay, this is what I contributed, in those places. So, and at the end, I just added maybe 1 or 2 projects I worked on, and that was it. Actually, my CV was just that simple. It was not colored. There was no fashion. There was no picture. There was nothing so fancy on it. But just black and white, basically. So I put my CV out there. My LinkedIn was updated. And when your CV is out there, you also want to make sure that, your CV correlates with your LinkedIn. It's not different. You're not on your LinkedIn. You're not saying you have, like, you worked in 20 different places and your CV is showing like 5, But I'm sure you just strike the balance. Sometimes you might want to actually show a little bit, your CV, because you have a lot of experiences. You want to show relevant experience, but make sure those things you are showing on your CV is also on your LinkedIn. Like, it's not, especially things like the dates, the period when you worked in those.
You worked, okay.
Yeah, it should not be different, because most of them is already checked.
Okay.
So back to what I'm saying, I started interviewing. So what I noticed was all these places I put my CV, like I said I was going to get to, I was just getting a lot of calls, but a lot of them were not doing sponsorship. And because I needed sponsorship, one of them advised me that if I don't want to be receiving a lot of calls that is unnecessary, I should put on my CV that visa sponsorship required. I just put in a very small place. So when they see my CV, they don't even bother to call if they are not offering sponsorship. Yes,
I get that point. That's a really important point.
The reason why I could do that was because, of course, I had a job. So that was why I was,
Yeah, you were ready to do shakara.
Which I eventually removed, to be honest, because the shakara had to come down because it was not working the way I thought it was.
You need to humble yourself because you actually need a sponsorship job.
So I did that, and the calls were due. When I put my CV out there, it was not necessarily working. Like I was saying, I was getting a lot of calls, but nothing was concrete.
Not what you needed.
So someone that got my contact via LinkedIn sent me an email and said, you know what, I want to introduce you to this platform. It's called Codco. That's CORD.co. That, okay, what we do here is you can go there just like a job hunt, just register with them. You see different companies, and I'm looking for a job. Let me just register with them. I later find out that that site had some a bit of restriction because they don't allow you when you sign it. Before they can allow you into the platform, they actually do some background check. They're always keen that you are in the UK. It's very important, or you are in the it's also an advantage if you've worked outside. Maybe you've worked in the UK before, or maybe in the US. Also,
in international experience.
But it's important that you are in the UK. It's a very wonderful site. That's why I eventually got the job I'm working the company I'm working with right now. What they do is they have a lot of companies in the UK, IT only. And so by IT, I mean front end, back end, doing DevOps, the product manager, BA,
data analysis,
everything, in IT, related, they are. You'll find it there. But the reason why I love, the reason I love this site is because right there you can actually see the companies that are sponsoring. So they
that's
put
cool.
it there, sponsorship, that they sponsor.
That's a good one.
So when you're applying, the one they're applying to, and they can also reach out to you. And it's actually very easy to use, if they are not sponsoring anyway, but that's why I call my job. So it's actually a very good site. I'm not saying that you can't get jobs elsewhere in other sites, but I'm just saying that is what
worked for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because I was after I actually got like 2 complaints from that code, last year that were going to sponsor, and I did interviews with them, but I got to the final stage, but they felt like my the technical bit of the interview, because technical was face to face, was not go take home, it was face to face, and I didn't necessarily prepare well for those two, because I had this confidence, like I'll figure it out, Most people that do tech will understand, like you don't feel like you want to be one
Yeah.
day to the interview or some few hours in the interview, just quickly prepare, read different things and just prepare. So that's what I did, and that was the reason. The reason was because I had a job. So and my job,
I think that having a job
yeah,
is really
exactly, because I wanted another job. I had a job that I had responsibilities, so I didn't have the time basically to prepare so well for all these other interviews.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
that's what I meant, like but I didn't get those jobs, even though they loved me. There was even one in particular that I loved, that I didn't get the job. So at that point, and I felt like, okay, so by the time I entered the new year, I was not thinking that, like, I can't continue like this. And I was a bit concerned because of taxes. So being able to pay my tax. I'm not talking about council tax. I'm talking about the normal deduction, insurance, national insurance, all those
Tax.
things.
Because
Yeah.
sorry to cut you short, it's like the company you're working with pays you in dollars, and
Yes.
that does not involve UK government.
Exactly. So
Uh-huh.
while I was in Nigeria, I paid my tax in Nigeria.
Okay.
So the company I was working with, Andela, as far as Andela is concerned, they employed me while I was in Nigeria. So I'm employed, even though they know that I'm not in Nigeria, because I of course I mentioned it to them that I moved. But because of course my work, I can work anywhere. So it was not a problem for them. But I needed to pay my tax in Nigeria.
Show that
Yeah,
you
in
are
the UK.
actually here.
Yeah, because I cannot pay. If I remove tax from the money I was earning, I was not going to be able to survive. So if you're a resident and you're working, you need to pay tax. To cut the long story short, I was able to get another job, and I did the interview. Like I said, at the beginning of the year, I just said, what? I went back to my CV, removed the sponsor. At this point, I said, what? Anyone, let me just get one so I can be paying my taxes. But luckily, the one I got was also able to sponsor, and it was a tough interview, but I got it.
Yeah, talking about interview, comparing the interview of UK to, although you have an advantage of international company, so but what will you say? How is it? How is it? Is it easier? Is it more technical because of your field? How is it? The stages were like 3, 4 stage, 5 stages, and did it take time, the period, for them to respond finally and cover up everything?
So for interviews for tech, I usually, it's always about, you take about 3 to 4 interviews, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, different interviews, different stages. But if I'm going to say in terms of the interview, how you should prepare for interviews in the UK, especially if you have not done interview outside Nigeria before, it is, of course, with time conscious. They are more interested in your confidence, and like I told a friend, the skill, what you're interviewing for, is important. Actually, it's actually very important. But I feel like also something that is very important is that you're also likable. Because you don't just come to an interview and just show just your skills alone. Try to smile, try to, because these people are going to work with you. Skills, knowledge is something that you can actually learn. There are some jobs, they know that they can teach you this thing, but you don't want to come, because I had a story of someone that came, showed that he knew his job, did everything, but he didn't get the job because I felt like this will be very difficult to work with, and especially in the time when everybody's working remotely. So be likable, be comfortable, smile, if you need to, like, just be very comfortable, and of course, know your stuff, do your research, and if you don't know, let them know you don't know. I don't
no need to lie.
Exactly, because they'll find, I don't like,
just say it as it is.
The thing is, if I always like, even me, when I was doing interview, there are quite a number of things I actually don't know, and I let them know this is what I know. This is what, if you require this, I am willing to learn. I'm willing to do my best to. I'm a fast learner. You don't have to. You just don't say I don't know. Of course.
Yeah, that's true.
But those things, just be confident, and like I said, try to be likable. Being likable is very vague, but by that I mean, be confident, smile. Don't
Just show
like
that you're a team builder.
exactly.
You can actually work in a team,
Yeah,
and your team will not be scared of you. So there are a lot of
true.
personalities are added. Okay, but what about the time frame? How many
I
days or
think it
months did it
depends.
take?
It depends on the company, to be honest. For mine, I think so. For mine, I had the first interview was like 30 minutes. The second one was like an hour, which was very technical. Then after that, they gave me a take-home test, which the time they gave I needed to submit within a week because of course they knew I had a job, so I didn't have the time. Then after I submitted, then we had the review. Then we had another interview to talk about all the things I did, why I did it, and I think that was the final stage. But that
Like
one was
like 5 stages.
yeah, I think the one I got to yeah took 4 stages, 4 stages. Yeah, but some might take 5 stages because but what you have in mind usually there's always it's always like the first call of trying to know you, talk about your skills. That's just nothing technical. There's always a second call of the technical one, what like what do you do? What are those skills you have? So a non-technical person will ask you the questions. There's always a third one of like the technical test itself. Okay, this thing we've talked about, you say you know how to do it. Now do it, let's see. That's for tech. For
Yeah.
other ones, I don't know how that goes. But then when you pass the main technical one, then you can now start talking about that's when they now look, okay, are you a good fit for this company? What are the cultures that you have, the values and all. Those ones are non-technical, and usually there's always a final stage of now you're meeting like maybe the CEO or
The
someone in
CEO, okay.
charge.
The
Yeah,
teams, okay.
exactly.
The duration I meant also is like, did it take like 1 month for everything to be sorted, or two
Yeah. So
months?
in my own case, it took like about 3 weeks. Yeah,
Wow,
about three
wow.
weeks. Sometime might be shorter because there was one I was because by the time I got this job, I was actually doing like 4 other interviews, to be honest. And I was
Oh,
already on the final stage of another one. But since I got this one, I just told all of them I was not interested. Excuse me. One of them was
right.
actually taking just 1 week. So it depends on the company. Some of them want fast, depending on how good, but some of them have processes that they have to follow.
Wow, that's a good one.
And sorry, I
I'm
also
sure.
wanted to mention, I know we are running out of time, because when we started, I mentioned that, okay, because of my experience, it doesn't really matter, even if you don't have a lot of experience, if you are doing IT, or you're a professional person, but I can speak for IT. IT is actually very lucrative, it's hot cake. If you know your stuff, just apply. I'm sure you get something. And don't be, if you feel like you need to apply for, what's it called, entry levels too. Don't feel like, because at some point I felt like I needed, not entry level for me, but I felt like I wasn't necessarily interested in how much we're going to pay. I just felt like, okay, I can't earn below this. I asked for something though, but I felt like, okay, if you offer whatever, I can't earn below this because I don't want to earn below what I was already earning before because I had
Yeah,
bills to pay. But
yeah,
I was willing to start and show what I wanted to show, to prove some points, and
yeah.
be able to
Because
get it.
I've got a lot of dependents that are high IT guys that they are already scared of, okay, what will happen if I come, some especially for University of All, they are
Mhm.
coming with their wife. The wife is studying and they are the one looking for the job. So they're already asking me, because what can I do? Hope I will get a job in all. But I want them to know too, from your experience, that you don't need to necessarily get a job within where you are. You can get
True.
a remote job
True. For
and be
example,
working
the
from
company I'm
home.
working with right now is in London, and
Wow.
I work fully remote. The truth is, it's not all companies that are remote. I've been doing remote for close to like over 3 years now. Working remotely. So I wanted to do remote work. Not that if I had seen a job that was hybrid, because they say there are some that are hybrid. Sometimes you work from home, sometimes you go to the office. I would have collected, but the one I got was fully remote, which I don't mind. I've not even been I've not been to the office, as of today. I've not been to the office in London. I've been working with them. I just started working with them. I've worked with them for about 3 months now. Do I intend
Wow.
to go? But you might not see something in hall, but just
Yeah.
look. For IT, there are a lot of jobs. Maybe in London, in Manchester. There are a lot of jobs.
Is
Okay.
a work from home. How have you been coping with? I know you have a small baby,
Okay.
and she's just she
Three.
just
She's
started
three.
school. I mean,
Yeah.
she's
She
she's
starts
doing a
school.
15 hours
Yeah.
school. But how do you cope when your wife is in school? How do you cope with doing the remote work and trying to engage with the child and because I know that IT is
Yes,
another thing
it's
on its own, the coding
since
and the
I'm
like.
working from home. Yeah, my job starts from 9. I work from 9 to 6, so I have 1 hour break in between. And by a certain time, I already have on my calendar that okay, I think by 11:20, I need to go and pick my daughter. It's already on my calendar, so they know by that for another 20, 25 minutes, I'm going to be out of the office because of course I'm working remote. So it's there, and they understand because everybody in the UK, you have to go and pick your child in school.
Yeah, yeah,
So those things are understandable. But when my child is at home, like I guess that's the question. My wife is not at
yeah,
home.
yeah.
Yeah,
When it's
because
at home,
what I do is, and unlike this job I'm doing, I'm always, we're always peer programming. Like I'm always on the call. So I just try to be honest, I'm guilty of always just giving out all kind of things. Just take, if it's biscuit, anything.
just for us
Just,
to
sometimes I
leave
try
you.
to, fortunately for me, my daughter is actually, she just
It's
wants to
calm.
sleep and she's a bit calm. So most of the time I just leave her in my office because I have this room, as an office, I have on my, workstation, and also I keep her there. I give her a tab, I give her chocolates, everything. I just give her. But it doesn't mean she doesn't disturb me once in a while. But when she shows, in my camera feed, they understand. And
They
I'm not just the
understand.
only one. The
Mm.
other people also that their kids are, because everybody's working from home. As far as it doesn't hinder your work, it depends on how you handle it. And when my wife is back, she doesn't go to
Yeah.
school every day. When back, I just beg her, please just keep this girl out of this. And
She's not come to the
unfortunately,
office.
most houses, I don't know about all, most houses in the UK don't have lock. The doors to the room don't have
That
lock.
is it. It's everywhere. Even here, no lock.
So you can see one behind me. You just open. So sometimes my daughter, when I close the door, she's just banging like you have to open this door. But when my wife is around, my wife is actually very helpful too. We just try to. You guys just have to manage it. We have to figure it out. Yeah.
What's your advice to dependents? Dependents that, especially there are some dependents that most of the weight is upon them. They really want to find a way to solve every issue and the like, especially the male dependents. What's your advice to them? I think you've already said part of the advice. You've already said part of the advice,
I
especially in
understand.
getting a sponsorship job
Yeah.
too.
Getting a sponsorship job is, I'm not going to lie, it's not easy. Not all companies that can actually sponsor, because not all companies that have
Also,
sponsorship license, so it's not easy. But I think you just have to keep trying. You have to keep trying. But and I also understand being a dependent, having to have all those burden on you. Having to work, your wife is in school. You have to take care of the home, pay bills and all. It's a lot. It's always very good to have to understand these things before you come and talk about how you are going to. You have to have your partner have to also be very understanding. And both of you have to work together. You can't just
hand
do it
in
on your
hand.
own. It's not possible. You can't do it on your own. You have to work together.
Yeah,
And know what works. You need to have
that's true.
friends. You need to have people you talk to as well. Because over here,
Have a
very easy,
community.
yeah, have a community. Over here, very easy to be because this I don't. This is my. I think I'm the only black person on this my street. Especially this boat. There's not a lot of black people. So the best way to get community sometimes maybe church or some of your friends that you came together from
Together. Yeah.
Nigeria. So it's also
To strike
important.
a balance
Yeah,
because you
just
have to
strike a
pay
balance.
bills. You have to
Exactly.
pay bills.
But your partner, both of you have to work hand in hand. It's very important.
Yeah, it's not. There's nothing like it's your money, it's my money. This one is our money because we have to
True.
pay bills together.
Exactly.
We have to pay bills together.
Exactly.
It's true. Then one of the things I also advise, because many at the process of trying to get a professional job in your field, there are some people that might not be as lucky as you because you already have a job.
Yeah.
I would still advise them to do something first.
True. I, for one, okay, so when I was coming, my plan was actually to just do any job, to be honest. I was just, like I said, before we came in, I didn't have a job. I was in the process of an interview. I didn't know I was going to get the job. My plan was to any job. I was at that point like, forget all this big boy. When I was in
job
exactly.
or way out.
Exactly. When I was in Nigeria, I was fine, but I was like, yeah, you have to also, because I know I was going to. So, the point is, do something. You don't say, oh, okay, I know I used to make millions in Nigeria. I can't come here. And, you need to do something and get something first. That job will come, but you need to make money and pay bills. So don't feel like, and it will take time. I'm not even going to lie to you. It will take time to get that.
Thank you for for eating that meal. It will take time, but trust God, you will get it. Thank you, Tunde. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I know
much.
a lot of questions will come up after this video when I post it.
Yeah,
Hope you will be available to respond to them.
If we need a second video, we'll figure it out.
Maybe let's hear what the viewers say. Thank you so much,
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. We've come to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm also trying to find a way to bring a female dependent. Seriously, a lot of dependents are on my neck. I need to sort you guys out. Don't worry, I will try my best. Thank you for watching to this end. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section. You can send me a mail, BukolaItalumhe@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Instagram at BukolaItalumhe. You can send me a message. So thank you for watching to this end. See you guys later. Bye.